Welcome to Archive. Today we'll be visiting the movie 13B, which had an IMDb rating of 7.4 out of 10. The movie begins with a family getting ready for the day. Men are getting ready to go to their office, children to their schools, and the women cook food for them. We can see that the younger son Manohar's wife is throwing away the curdled milk. She then makes tea using milk powder. When the husband complains, she tells them about the spoilt milk. The mother comes hearing this and says that it is a bad omen, as this has happened multiple times. The son makes the mom sit down and explains that they have spent almost all of their savings in buying this house, and also have taken a loan for the next 20 years. He tells her to not believe in such things. The elder brother checks the prayer room, finds the images of God on the floor, and informs Manohar to find someone who could help them with this. Later, they all leave for their jobs. Manohar tries to call the lift. After entering, he tries to press the button for the ground floor, but the lift doesn't accept it. Suddenly the lift opens, and a dog barks at him. He is startled by this. The dog Jerry belongs to the blind man. They have a brief conversation, and Manohar invites him for lunch the next Saturday. Manohar starts walking down the stairs, and when the blind man asks him the reason for not using the lift, he says that the lift is broken. As soon as Manohar walks down the stairs, the lift behind the old man opens. The blind man gets into it, and it's taken to the ground floor. Manohar listens to the lift going downwards, and tries to stop it. After getting in, he tries to press the ground floor button, but the lift doesn't move. Manohar gets frustrated, and starts walking down the stairs again. On reaching the ground floor, Manohar complains about the lift to the watchman. He also hands him $50 to help them nail the images to the wall. Now, Manohar reaches his office. We see that he is an architect. A colleague of his congratulates him for his new house and his new phone. While checking the phone, he informed Manohar to return it. He shows Manohar a distorted picture. Manohar remembers his nephew taking his picture. He then takes a selfie and finds that the picture was perfect. He informs his colleague that his nephew might have shaken the camera while taking the picture. We are shown that the women folks in the family take these shows very seriously. They try to change to a channel, but as soon as the clock strikes 1, the remote gets stuck on channel number 13. They try to change the channel using the remote and also by pressing the buttons on the television, but they are unable to. The channel shows a new serial. The women decide to watch the new show, stating that a new house should have a new show. The name of the show is Sab Khairiyat, which means everything is fine. The series shows a family just like theirs who has moved to a new house. The members in the family are very similar to theirs. Now you might have got a slight idea that the TV show is somehow related to Manohar's family. Now Manohar returns from his work. He reached his home, gasping. When his wife asks, he tells her that he had to walk 13 flights of stairs. Now Manohar sees that the pictures are still not hung on the wall, and asks Priya if the watchman didn't come to help them. She said that the watchman tried nailing the wall, but he was unable to bore a single nail. Now Manohar asks Priya to bring a hammer. He knocks on the wall to check for the consistency and finds it normal. He now tries to nail it in the wall. He tries harder and harder, but it doesn't even make a scratch. He gives a final blow and hammers his hand. His hand starts bleeding. Now his wife brings the first aid, and he is taken inside. We can see the blood stains making a B, as if it is trying to say something. Next day, as usual, they get ready for work. While watching the television, they find the interview of a famous doctor, Dr. Shinde, who is also the doctor who treats their mother. In the interview, he is asked about his belief in the supernatural. He says that his parents died when he was young, and all he had was a younger brother. He too killed himself. He tried to save him, but couldn't. He then wondered what happens after death. He explains the existence of ghosts, just as people believe in the existence of God. Now his nephew steals his phone and records everyone. When he takes Manohar's picture, it becomes distorted, and he drops the phone frightened. Manohar shouts at him. When he looks at the picture on the phone, he sees that his face is distorted. He now takes his mother's picture, which comes out normal. He again takes his picture, and it turns out distorted. He then leaves for the office confused. The same thing repeats. He is unable to use the lift. In the worksite, he informs the driller Hari to help him drill some holes in the prayer room. The driller arrives at his home. Priya welcomes him, shows the prayer room, and then goes back to reading her book. She hears a sudden noise, and when she checks, the driller guy was getting electrocuted. Priya saves him and helps him stand on his feet. He informs them that he has been working for years, but this has never happened, and this is the first time. He then leaves. When the women folks are busy cleaning the broken frames in the prayer room, episode 2 is telecasted. The younger brother in the show thinks that there's something wrong in the house. Since they arrived, something bad is constantly occurring. He always feels that there's someone else in the house other than them, like a ghost or a demon. His thought is interrupted by his brother who hugs him, saying that he got a promotion with a salary hike of $10,000. In the evening, Manohar returns from work, and as usual the lift doesn't work. When he enters home, his brother gives him good news that he got a promotion of $10,000. This means that the television is predicting the family's future. Manohar now freshens up and finds water leaking through the ceiling. He gets out of the washroom, switches off the light, and closes the door. But later finds that the door has opened on its own, and the light got switched on automatically. When he checks, he finds that the switch is still off. He tries switching on and off, and suddenly the light bulb breaks, injuring him on the forehead and fingers. The next day, Manohar's family is going for a wedding, but he doesn't go due to the bandages on his forehead and fingers. He teases her sister, who is going to the college to check her exam results. He taunts her to at least clear one of her subjects this time. Later that day, when he prepares his lunch, someone knocks at the door. He leaves his food in the oven to attend the door. It was the blind guy with the dog. The moment Manohar opens the door, the dog starts barking and refuses to enter the house. He then pulls the old man's hand and he loses his spectacles. Manohar gets frightened after looking into his eyes. The blind guy says that he will come another day. Manohar is now disturbed. He thinks about the dog not entering into the house. He now takes out his phone and clicks a picture standing outside the house. He sees that the image is clear, but when he stepped inside and clicked another picture, it gets distorted. He now understands that something is wrong with the house. He now sits on the sofa and starts thinking. When the clock strikes 1, the television automatically switches on. He tries to shut it down, but he is unable to. Having no choice, he watches the show. The recap shows that the elder brother gets a salary hike of $10,000 with the exact same words of his brother, and also him teasing his younger sister. Manohar becomes a bit suspicious when he sees the character with the exact same wounds as his. The sister in the show comes running and tells her brother that she has cleared her exam. At the same time, Manohar's sister comes home running and tells him that she has cleared her exam. Now his sister and the character use the exact same words. Manohar gets really confused after he hears the younger brother's wife getting pregnant. Now Manohar waits for the same news to be heard from his wife. But she says nothing. He asks her multiple times if she is fine. Now he gets an idea and informs her to take mom to the routine checkup and get herself checked too. A day later, his wife informs him that she is pregnant. He rushes home to meet his wife. In the parking lot, he meets the blind guy. They both get in the lift. Now when Manohar presses the button, the lift works. Manohar informs him that he is going to be a dad. The blind guy tells him that the new house is lucky. His brother got promoted, his sister cleared all her exams, and now he's going to be a father. So many good things happening all together. This makes him remember the previous episode. He meets his wife and congratulates her. They share a hug, but still the show lingers in his mind. He now waits for the show to be telecasted. At 1 p.m., the women start watching the show. In the episode, it shows that the younger brother's wife slips and falls down the stairs. Seeing this, Manohar becomes very unstable. Priya's sister-in-law tells her to keep the food in the refrigerator, and when she does that, she gets electrocuted and falls on the floor. Manohar rushes to help her and yells at her sister-in-law to call an ambulance. While carrying her downstairs, He hears the character pleading to the doctor to help his wife, but the doctor doesn't answer. He hurriedly takes her to the hospital. Manohar's elder brother talks to Dr. Shinde, who says that they are trying their best to save Priya. Manohar is unaware of this. He then remembers the show and rushes to check for the remaining part. He checks the hospital TV, but finds that it is not working. He then rushes home. As the lift won't allow him to board alone, he calls the watchman to accompany him. After reaching home, he watches the show. In the show, the doctor says that they tried their best to save the baby, but they couldn't. His wife is absolutely fine. He cries, hugging the TV, happy to hear that his wife will be fine, but also sad because he lost his baby. He then goes back to the hospital to meet his wife. Then Manohar hugs Dr. Shinde for saving his wife. He gives Manohar a list of medicines for Priya. The medicines were covered in a paper bag made of newspaper. It had the list of all TV shows. He goes through the newspaper to check for the show timing, but he's unable to find it. He rushes to the hospital and finds a woman reading newspaper. He requests, and the woman gives the newspaper to him. He now goes through the whole newspaper searching for the channel and the show. He finds the channel ITV and understands that the show is broadcasted every day at 1 p.m. He then goes to the shooting location. On denying entry, he tells the watchman that he is a businessman and would like to sponsor this show. The watchman escorts him inside, but he finds that the show being shot is a talk show and is entirely different from the one that is broadcasted on his TV. He runs to a television shop to double-check, and finds that the show broadcast at 1 p.m. is the talk show. He then calls his mother to check what she was watching, and gets confirmation that she is watching the family show. He sits down confused and scared. He then tells the whole story to his friend Shivam, who is a police officer. In spite of multiple attempts to make him believe, his friend laughs. Shivam says that he too would like to see the show. Manohar and Shivam go to his house. The show exactly shows a police officer entering with the younger brother. The police officer in the show gets a call from the hospital, informing that his wife suffered burns after the gas cylinder exploded in his house. Manohar knows that this means something is going to happen at Shivam's house. He tells Shivam to call his wife and ask her to get out of the house as soon as she can. Shivam doesn't believe this, but still calls his wife. But due to less signal, the call doesn't go through. After trying multiple times, she receives the call. Shivam tells his wife to get out of the house, but she's unable to hear what he said. They run to Shivam's house, but his wife was already out of the house. When Manohar and Shivam gets to his house, they find that the cylinder was leaking heavily. They open the door and windows to let the gas escape. Shivam then tells him to move out of that house and find a different one because it's too risky to keep the family there. But Manohar says that in the whole world, the house is the only place where the show is telecasted. If he vacates that house, he'll never know what happens next, and he'll never be able to save his family just as they saved Shivam's wife. Now Shivam urged Manohar to get updates every day from the show, especially if he and his wife are involved. The next day, the blind guy and his dog were in the basement, when the dog pulled him towards something. He loses the leash, and the dog runs off. Manohar, on seeing this, runs behind the dog. The dog is seen digging in the garden. Manohar gets the leash, and returns the dog to the blind man. Later that evening, in the pretense of helping his wife in the kitchen, Manohar asks her about today's episode. She says that the neighbor's dog digs something out of the garden. When Manohar asks her what the dog finds, she says that they didn't show that. When his wife was fast asleep, Manohar, with a flashlight, goes to the ground floor, opens his car, and takes out a metal rod. He then digs the spot where the dog was trying to. He finds an old metal box. On opening it, he finds an old photo album. Something shocks him while going through the photos. The next day, he goes to meet his police officer friend Shivam and shows the album. They find the same family that is shown in the TV show. They check the calendar in one of the photos, which says June 1977. This means that the pictures were taken 30 years ago. But these people still exist in the same form and same age in his television. He remembers Dr. Shinde, who is also their family doctor, speaking about the paranormal. They decide to meet him. Manohar explains the situation in such a way that Shivam is a writer who writes horror movies. Dr. Shinde explains that when a soul leaves the body unsatisfied, it won't leave the earth. It wanders everywhere until it finds a way to finish off what's remaining. It sometimes uses any medium to communicate with the real world. This can be done through any electronic object too. Manohar asks the reason for them contacting us. Shinde explains that they have a motive, a goal they want to achieve. Something's left unfinished. But if a living person completes this for them, then the souls find solace and leave the real world forever. The place where the showy is telecasted should have some connection with those people appearing in the show. Now Manohar tells Shivam that no person in the show is now alive, and that's why they are communicating with him. But they've missed something very important in the album. They open the album once again and start going through all the pictures. They find a picture that was stuck to the cover, which they missed last time. The picture shows a crippled guy on the mother's lap, whom they haven't seen on the show, which means that he is still alive. They go to a library and search for old newspapers for June 1977. They find the report of a newsreader named Chitra and her family who were bludgeoned with a hammer by her crippled younger brother. No children were spared. And they find their house address to be 13B, which is the address where Manohar lives. Manohar now understands that the building was made after demolishing the family's home. Now they show the flashback of the family from 30 years ago. The family brings in a new television and sets it up to see their younger sister, who reads news. The neighbors stand outside watching them set up the television. The naughty children can be seen placing an album in a metal box and digging the earth to hide it. They set up the television and call Ashok, the crippled brother. He becomes frightened after watching the TV, but later becomes happy seeing his sister Chitra on TV. On seeing the neighbors, he becomes violent again. The brothers drag Ashok back to his room. Later we see a lot of people outside the house. Ram, the person who is engaged to Chitra, finds that the whole family is murdered. Inside the house, Ashok can be seen holding a hammer and walking towards the TV. He then smashes the TV with the hammer. The police tell him to throw the hammer, but he keeps on smashing the TV. The police arrests him. On searching the house, the policeman is stunned by the scene. He tells the other officer to call the ambulance, as there are 8 corpses piled up. He also finds a small diamond at the scene. While investigating the neighbors, one said that a ghost killed them. He tells them that Chitra, who reads the news, was very beautiful. A guy who always followed her to the house that day broke in, and he had a fight with her brother. He threatened them, saying that he would kill the whole family if he couldn't marry Chitra. The man killed himself a week ago on the same day Chitra got engaged. On the engagement day, a person can be found calling out Chitra. He tells them that he sees Chitra every day and wants to marry her. He loves her a lot. Her brothers intervene and push him outside the house. He threatens the whole family and leaves. Another guy says that the crippled guy Ashok killed them. Ashok is admitted to the mental asylum. Shivam also finds news which shows the police officer in the show was indeed the police officer who investigated the murder. He too commits suicide by hanging himself in the same house. They now plan to meet Chitra's ex-fiancé Ram. Advocate Ram. Ram was fighting for Chitra's crippled brother Ashok, who was also the accused. Ram believes that Ashok is innocent. At home, the women can be seen watching the show. We can judge by the look on their face that they are watching something violent. Mother tells Priya to switch off the TV, but as usual, the remote doesn't work. Now Shivam and Manohar meet Advocate Ram. They question him about Ashok. Ram said that Ashok can never kill anyone. He has known him for years. Ashok loved his sister Chitra immensely. Ram saw Ashok hugging the corpses, and that's why he had stains on his clothes. Someone left the hammer there, and Ashok just grabbed it to break the TV. He was angry with the TV, and considered it to be responsible for everything. Ram tried his best, but couldn't save him. Now they visit Ashok, who is admitted in the mental asylum. The doctor said that Ashok is a model patient, but one day he became violent while watching television. And after that, he would make shapes with his blood and self-inflict wounds. While traveling back from the asylum, he gets a call from Priya. He asks Priya about today's episode. She said that a man entered the house and killed everyone. Manohar asked if they had revealed his face. She replied that the episode ended abruptly, and the face will be revealed 2 days later on Monday. He tells Priya to lock the door and not to open it to anyone. Manohar tells Shiva that someone is going to kill his family today, and he hurriedly leaves home. In the car parking, he feels that someone with a hammer is following him. The person takes the stairs, and Manohar follows him. Manohar tries to catch up with him, but he can never leave the second floor. The killer reaches his house and tries to break the door. That's when he realizes that he was dreaming. When he wakes up, he sees Chitra beside him. He can now hear the show running on the television, and it shows climax. He watches the show, only to find himself as the killer. He falls to the ground seeing this. He now runs to Shiva and Dr. Shinde, saying that he might kill his own family. He tells Dr. Shinde to either lock him up or kill him. If something happens to his family, he might as well die. Now Shivam tells him that he has a better idea. He'll relocate Manohar's family without him knowing. Manohar urges Dr. Shinde to book a flight so that they can go far away from him as soon as possible. Now Manohar tells Shiva to lock him inside and not to open the door. The doctor prints out the flight tickets and leaves for Manohar's house. Now Manohar, who is sleeping, wakes up frightened. He looks outside the window and sees a sledgehammer, just like the one that he saw on TV. But he spots a difference. He tells Shiva that on today's episode he saw 2 different hammers. This means that there were 2 people. The person who killed the entire family had a normal hammer, while the one he carried was a larger one, just like the one sitting outside. It means that someone is going to kill his family today. In the show, he was unable to reach on time and thus couldn't save his family. He requests Shivam to open the door, but he doesn't because Manohar already told him not to open the door whatsoever. He violently bangs on the door and with the help of a chair tries to break the glass, but he can't. He climbs on the cupboard to get something to break the glass, but he slips and falls. Shivam grabs a knife to stop Manohar. Now Priya hears someone knock at the door. She checks and finds that the power is out. She opens the door and finds Dr. Shinde standing drenched. He informs her that Manohar is at his house and had given flight tickets for them to leave at 7 a.m. in the morning. He also tells her to call Manohar and he will explain everything. Priya invites him inside the house. He tells her to bring a glass of coffee instead of water, as he has walked 13 flights of stairs. Dr. Shinde now asks for the washroom, and Priya directs him. He goes to the washroom. He hears the television but got confused as there was a power outage. He then comes out and sees Chitra reading news on the TV. She reads that 30 years ago, reporter Chitra and her family were massacred using a hammer. And the police have arrested Chitra's mentally ill elder brother for the murder. Now Chitra looks at Dr. Shinde and says that it was not her brother, but him, who killed everyone. She continues, "Your younger brother was a coward to commit suicide just because a girl refused to marry him. How are we responsible for his death?" This means that the guy who came to Chitra's house during her engagement was Dr. Shinde's younger brother. He committed suicide as Chitra rejected his proposal. He is seen reading his brother's suicide note and decides to take revenge. He murders then the whole family. The investigating officer found a small diamond at the scene. When he meets Dr. Shinde to get more information about his brother's death, he finds the doctor's ring with a missing diamond. Dr. Shinde sees this through the mirror and attacks the inspector from behind. He injects him with a drug, drags him to Chitra's house, and hangs him. He then reads the suicide note as the inspector breathes his last. Now Chitra says that if you had been punished, we would have found solace. But instead you blamed my innocent brother for the murder. This is wrong. This is a crime. We could have killed you, but we won't. I want my younger brother to be acquitted. He should be a free man. We will kill you right where you massacred us. You will be punished for your sins. Dr. Shinde shouts that he has lived without his brother for 30 years. What else should be a punishment for him? He has no one in this world, and his only family left him. He then breaks the TV. Priya listens to the noise and comes running in. Now Dr. Shinde looks at Priya, but sees Chitra. The dead family members walk towards him with candles. Manohar's elder brother requests Dr. Shinde to calm down, but he doesn't listen. He holds the hammer and knocks him down. When he is about to strike for the second time, Manohar comes in along with Shivam. Dr. Shinde sees them as Chitra's younger brother and the inspector whom he killed. He laughs insanely. When he's about to strike Manohar's elder brother the second time, Manohar strikes and kills him. Manohar is seen holding the bigger hammer as he saw in the television. After a year, Manohar is seen living happily with his family. His nephew clicks some pictures on his phone. The prayer room is ready, and all the pictures have been hung on the wall. The whole family is happy again. They also bring Ashok to his house. Everything is fine now. Manohar leaves for his job, calls the elevator, and yes, the lift now works for him. He suddenly gets a call from the deceased Dr. Shinde. Dr. Shinde says, if we die without fulfilling our goals, we return. And in this new generation, I'll connect you through this mobile phone. He ends the call asking, is everything fine there? Tell me in the comments, if the TV in your house suddenly started showing your future, would you watch it or switch it off forever?